any brace, I'm really super sparing with braces.
Yeah.
You lose 1 to 1.5% of muscle mass per day.
Per day?
Per day. 1 to 3% of functionality per day.
Wow.
Did you ever break a bone?
Yes.
Cast?
No.
Okay. Well, you have any kids or other
Yeah, but
family?
I know what you mean. Yes.
Yeah. That's 6 to 8 weeks of 1 to 1.5% of muscle mass per day.
Wow.
It's a pencil, right?
Yes.
And that's why. And so I'm really sparing with braces. But I'm also looking at it like, let's say somebody has a severe car accident and that everybody else gives them these, neck collar braces or whatever, and they're in them forever. And I'm going, for me, maximum 3 days. And when we do it right off the bat, they put the brace on, they're going to wear it for maybe a 4-hour stretch on the first day, and then a 2-hour break, and then another 4 hours. But they're going to be doing eye exercises because the eyes are wired to the tongue, which is wired to the stabilizers of your spine. That's why when I look this way, the muscle that makes my eyes go, they call the intertransfer, or the lateral rectus, is wired to the intertransversaria muscles in my spine that are getting me to turn on this side, and the multifidi muscles that turn this one in are wired. Medial rectus is wired to the multifidi, which get it this side to go this way. So it's engaging it even if you don't move. But I want it to engage. I don't want you to move. I just want you to engage. Then on the second day, we're actually going to take it off every 2 hours for 1 hour to 2 hours. And we're going to eye movement with a little non-painful range of motion. And then on the third day, they're going to wear it 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the evening, and then we're done. It's gone. And because I don't want that bracing to make it weaker. And that's what it does. Now, what do I mean by bracing? I've worn braces so many times, so many fractured ribs, I'm telling you. But you got to breathe, and you got to sleep. Okay. If you can sleep without that, do not wear it to bed.
Okay. Yeah, I do not.
Good. But if you have to wear it to sleep, wear it.
Okay.
Because sleep is the most important thing. The growth cycle is stress it, nutrition it, recover it. And of those three, which one's the most important?
Recover.
You got it. You must be a mom. Moms know things. But in wearing the brace, if I'm doing something and it will assist me to do better and higher, wear it.
Okay.
And more. Do you have that on a regular basis?
No, I rarely ever. Only if I'm having, like, compression seems to help when I'm having the flare up. I will wrap my whole body with the ace bandages like a mummy, as tight as I possibly can for a little while, and it just relieves so much of the pressure and the pain. And then I take them off.
But I mean that rib.
This
Is this brand new? You never had
this
that?
is just from yesterday. Yeah, I think it's just it wants to go back where
Torque.
it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's torque.
I think it's torque.
I didn't put much pressure.
It
so
feels
I'm
like
hoping
it
it's
just
not
needs
fractured.
to, like, just a little crack. Just snap it,
Yeah,
go right back in.
Well, I can also do it with the tool.
Oh yeah.
So we're gonna do that. But I'm a ginger guy.
I know.
And if I'm worried something might be fractured, I assume it is.
Okay.
Better
to be safe.
better than collapse alone. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm on the side of safe. I'm an Eagle Scout, so that's how we roll.
Good.
But which means I'm a certified pyromaniac. But yeah, if you needed to breathe, if you needed to move certain things, and then take it off.
Okay.
If you don't need it, don't wear it.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
But I like it, and I like it for what we're doing.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh wow, those eyes are scary.
Yeah, you're gonna see that in what I do, everything is a tool.
Okay.
And I'm gonna use it for what it's used for. I'm gonna know what its drawbacks are. Like bicycling, people ask me, "What's the best exercise?" And I say, "The one you'll do."
Exactly.
What about biking? I said, "Do you like it?" "Yeah, I love biking." "Great. Here's the problem. Biking is great, but it shortens the muscle in your legs. So it's bad." I didn't say that. I said it's a drawback. I said, if you know that, then we can give you exercises to work to make sure you don't lose flexibility. I worked with an Olympic cyclist, and that's what we did with her. Her legs were bigger than my waist.
Mm-hmm.
And she was so tight in her legs, her times were getting worse. And so I worked to get that flexibility back, and she got that power stroke better, and her times went way down. And so the coolest thing about her, she got part of her thumb chopped off. Her part-time job, well, her job that she did was she was a cement truck driver. I mean, this chick was tough.
Well, she got those legs, man.
Yeah, exactly. Man, scary. But the slide that came down is multiple pieces, and the slide cut her thumb off. And she was PTSD from it. I mean, she had never, when I worked on it, she had never let a man touch that thumb after the surgery. She had a really cool surgery in Russia. They have this surgery where they can extend bones, they can make them longer, which is really cool. They basically break the bone, and then they start to expand it, and it grows. Oh man, it's so awesome. And so she had this grown to the point where this part that was left was as long as her thumb used to be.
So it was all just one solid piece, but long. Wow.
It was this
So
part.
she had the vanity look of fabulous, but
yeah,
that's amazing.
But then she couldn't control her shifter, because this is, of the things that are the most sensitive, tongue is the most sensitive. Number 2 is your thumb.
Wow, I had no idea.
Yeah, and so we did games to make this part of her thumb as sensitive as we could get it, and then we did games up in her brain to cause the part of her brain to be more sensitive so that it would do more with less. And so I put a hair and she'd feel it, and then I put a piece of paper, like Princess and the Pea.
Yes.
Right? And then another piece of paper, and then another piece of paper, and then another piece of paper, and
you just come up with these things. So like how I need to stimulate your thumb.
Because I know what the behaviors are, I can come up with creative ways to stimulate. And that's what this morning I was in the limbic brain material, looking at it and saying, oh, that's interesting. So Stroop does 9 comes down here, so I could do Stroop and get this part of the limbic brain on the left, because that Stroop gets 9, and 9 in this case on the left actually engages the anterior cingulate. We're going to do Stroop for that. See, I do Stroop normally for 9. You say, I'm going to do it for more than 9 now.
Okay.
And so that's where I'm coming up with these, and then I'm looking at, okay, how can I combine these in very creative ways, not just one way. That's great. Mm-hmm. But then, okay, I don't want it to become habituated in only that way. So then I'm thinking, okay, if I was to change it to where I'm doing it, maybe connecting it in a different way, in a more creative way, then I can get it to be more robust in its connectivity. And that's one of my favorite words, from neuroscience that they use. But making that connectivity work. But she was able to start working and start competing again.
That is amazing.
That was really fun.
All because you know which nerve is going into the brain, and this is the nerve that we've got to work, and then we've got to make them realize.
Yes.
Relearn.
They got to work together. They got to work together, and they got to harmonize.
So when someone is in a car wreck or something, they lose their memory, they have amnesia, they have to relearn how to speak, go through all of that again. Does their body also forget about, like Stacy has no feeling in one of his sides. He's got the scar on the back of his head. He was in a major, you should hear his story. That's why I fell in love with him. Wow. He told me his story, he's like, yes, I will marry you right now. So I was wondering if that would even affect his brain. Like, over long periods of time, can you still even heal it if it's been set that way, been rewired another way?
Whatever is there, whatever's alive, I can work with. Okay, and when I'm dealing with, I had this one kid, he worked on big machinery that prepares the ground for major industrial stuff, and so the tires are like this.
Oh yeah, my brothers are welder on those. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so there was this huge rock in between the tread, and he's pulling it out, and the tire blew, exploded the rock. There was a piece. It was like this, but there was a piece like this that hit him in the chest. He nearly died. He was in the hospital for weeks, but he was also, the pictures, he looked like he had been hit with either a grenade or a Claymore mine, right? Because there was shrapnel everywhere. And this kid originally was a slackliner. I don't know if you know what slacklining is. It's basically tightrope walking on a parachute strap. And he would do that at 100 feet in the air, right? He would go to Zion, and they would rig one, 100 feet in the air, and he would, walk.
So he's a tightrope walker.
Yes.
Like an entertainer tightrope walker.
Well, he
Not
does it
for the high
for
lines.
Adventure.
Oh, he just did it for fun. Okay.
Yeah, adventure.
Okay.
One of those adventure guys, and when I met him, he could barely walk, and his balance. I mean, if he's tried to stand on one foot, I had to catch him, and so, and he's crying, and his mom brought him in, and great kid. I mean, wonderful, wholesome kid, and as we were working with him, that was one of the big keys, was working with that balance system. And it was, for me, it was really interesting because I'm always trying to look at the person too, because it's kind of like the kid that I'm teaching to insult, I can do it another way, but he loves that. And if he loves that, he's going to grow faster. Well, that was the thing that made the difference for this kid. And so as I'm working with him, but at the beginning, and it had been 1.5 years since the accident, and he'd been through the work comp system here, which is like the mob. They've called and threatened me. If you keep taking, we're going to get your license and revoked and stuff. And I go, hey, knock yourself out. Big talker. But at the end of the day, they win. Why? Because they tell the patient, if you don't stop going to them, even though they're paying me cash, if you don't stop going to him, we're going to stop your disability funds. That's how they always win. And I let
That's workman's comp doing that?
Yeah, oh yeah, it's workman's comp.
That's dirty,
yeah.
dirty,
oh,
dirty.
It's totally dirty. Yeah, it's I'm not saying it's a conspiracy.
When you get a chance, Alta's ready.
Okay, perfect. I'm not saying it's a conspiracy. I'm just saying it's a conspiracy. But as I'm working with him, we started off with fasting because everybody wants to feed it, And I said, well, I want to feed it, but I don't want to feed dysfunctional cells that should die, because they're going to be a problem rather than a help. So we did like 12-hour fast, and he felt a little better. So okay, well, to another 12 hours, oh, I feel even better. And then the next 12 didn't do anything. I said, well, we're done fasting. Now let's feed it good stuff so we can get to work, And because parts of it were dysfunctioning, here's the wild thing. I have to let them know, because the parts of the brain are dysfunctioning. When we feed it, it's going to dysfunction better. So it's going to look like it's worse. It's not. It's just because that's what it's doing. It's like your reflex, right? And your left arm. Instead of going like this, it was going like that.
Yes.
It was dysfunctioning. And so then I started working, with what is there. I'm taking what is non-functional but still alive, but can be helpful, and I'm turning it back on. I've had 3 patients come in blind in one eye and leaving with vision. So that wasn't a miracle. We pushed the system and it was available. I stepped in the room and turned on a light. That's all I did.
Wow.
One kid, he was kicked for 20 minutes. He was a prison guard. Laid in the hospital forever, severe PTSD. I mean, horrible. Couldn't write. he and his wife were going to buy a house, and they had to move in with his parents, and got him seen, got him back on the job, got him riding his motorcycle, and
Back to a life.
back to a life.
That's amazing.
It's fun. It's really fun. They're all my puzzles. You're all my puzzles.
Yes. We're feeding your brain.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, like I say, was this a crime? My brother did crime. He did the time. Okay, so this is Audrey. Okay, we're looking at one of the major things that we're the most interested in from a spinal point of view is what we call the sagittal plane. The sagittal plane is when we're looking at you from the side.
Okay.
Okay? The side. And we got this curve, and then your sacrum curves in the other direction, right?
Okay.
And that curve system is vital for how your spine works, but also how your body works. It also makes it so you don't have any pressure on the spinal cord itself and the brainstem. Okay? So we're looking for a curve, and you do have a curve down here.
That's what I want,
nice.
right?
Yes, very nice. Here's a curve, but it reverses here. You got big problems right here, including the back of this vertebra doesn't line up with the back of that. You had a significant injury that damaged the ligaments here, and because it's been locked down, you have multiple discs that are very small. Okay, and that the disc makes the shape of the curve, right? See that? It's bigger in the front than it is in the back. That's creating that curve.
And I want that.
You want that, yes. And it's mechanical advantage. We call it a force multiplier system. A little in gets a lot out. If you put a quarter in a machine and nothing comes out, we call that government. Right? If you put a quarter in and a quarter comes out, that's not a very good machine. If you put a quarter in and 5 comes out, that's a better machine. But we want the quarter in, 12 quarters comes out. And so that's what we're trying to create, is this machine that functions more easily. Okay? So we're looking, we see this curve, we see this. You've got, like I say, ligament damage in here. But we'll show you what it should look like in the neck curve. Okay. Should look like that. Okay? I need to go take care of Alta.
Yeah.
You want to just have a seat?
Okay.
You can turn off the
Yeah.
recording. We'll turn it back on when I get back.